All right, artists, we've been talking about the artist Eric Carle, and this is his book. And he's known for painting, he's making collages with painted tissue paper. We actually painted using construction paper, and you've already done that. And in your top drawer of all your little supply containers, there are books. And when you have free time, they're from our school library. You can look at them. He has beautiful artwork. So that's why we're doing the chameleon. So you're going to have your painted paper, you're going to have some kind of mat underneath, and find the one that was yours. I had actually started the video and had to restart it because I got a phone call. So there I've got this, I set this on. Make sure you go around the edge, get as close to the edge as you can because you have all this good paper that you can use to do the background. Use a pen. I like to use a pen. When you use your scissors, artist, remember thumbs go on top, fingers go on bottom. We nibble. And so we go all the way around. So I will pause this video and then I will get it cut out and I will come back. This is going to obviously take me a long time, but I want to show you something, artist. This paper is a totally different texture than what you're used to. To keep it from ripping, I would suggest go ahead and cut out this extra piece. Okay, so there's that big chunk. Now, do you see how I didn't get that close, but that's okay. Then I can actually go in and nibble because I'd hate to see you rip your beautiful painted paper. Okay, artist, I'm back. I have it all cut out. See how nice and clean and crisp it looks, and then you don't see the pen, which is on the back. You're going to, here's your big piece of paper. You're going to take your pen. On the bottom left, remember, you're going to write your name. No name, no fame. Check your shoulder buddy. Something that I want to remind you, when you do a frame of glue, first of all, when you open Mr. Glue, you hold his head and you untwist his hat. And you pick his boogers if you need to. A frame of glue, artist, is where you go, you take the same shape, but it's inside of it. So just like that. A technique that I want to show you is when you have this piece of paper, make sure you set it on there, press it down, flip it, turn it over, and rub and massage. And that just really helps get the glue pressed down really good. And it'll help because this paper is really thick. Then you can get a paper towel if you see I don't have any glue because I did the frame of glue. So when you go to your chameleon, you're going to decide how you want your chameleon sitting. This is your biggest piece of paper, so you kind of have to make sure he sits on there. And then I'm going to draw with an oil pastel. I'm going to add some detail. Think about your chameleon being somewhere on a branch, maybe, something with a background. I also want to show you, look at all these beautiful scraps that I'm going to put in the center of my table, and maybe you could use these to make leaves or borrow somebody else's colors. I'm going to show you that as well. So there's my chameleon, all framed in with the glue. I'm going to very carefully make sure it sits inside. Then I'm going to press it. Remember what Mrs. Milligan said? Oh, I like that little bit of orange that's in there. Press it, and then I'm going to turn it over and massage it really good. This is really thick paper, so you need to make sure that you rub it really good and you've done that frame of glue. Okay, now this is on the mat, not on your table. Then I would take my paper towel, because when you go back in and you use your, oh, see how it's smearing a little bit? I thought that might happen. Okay, so now I can take and use my oil pastels, get a scrap piece of paper because they might be dirty. Here's a scrap I had from another lesson. And remember, rub it off and clean it with that. So I would think about, and you could take your pencil first, or looking for a brown, and I don't see a brown. I might have to stop this video and get another tray and see if I can find a brown for you. So I would think about if this is his feet, okay, and he's wrapped around that branch, it would go underneath his belly. Maybe it would come on the other side of his head. Okay, think about how big you want this. Hit a bump and jump. Hit a bump and jump. So there's part of the branch. Maybe there's another part of the branch that's coming down like this. Okay. And I would have, remember it comes out with the letter Y's. We've drawn trees before. So that everything where it separates is the letter Y. Then here would be the big part of the branch. Okay, now what you can do, artist, you don't have to color it all the way in. You can just do it lightly, but you got to be careful when you're getting near your chameleon. You can also have different colors. You know, this is the kind of the burnt sienna that I found. Okay. And what I was going to show you, and I'll come back and finish this, if you take these little pieces of paper, and all I need is this small bit. This is from another one. I could actually fold it over. Remember we've done the zigzag before? And you can only do a little bit at a time, but I could cut this in half again. The leaf shape, I could draw a leaf on there. It's kind of like an eye or a teardrop. So you can cut it like that. Draw one on there and watch. I'm going to have 3 leaves. So I'm going to nibble, nibble, nibble. And then I can take these pieces of paper. This is called a collage. Set that aside. Finish with the oil pastel. And I can add little leaves to my branch, okay? And then I'm also going to add some more detail. You can blend these colors and mix them. Just make sure you clean them. Notice I haven't glued any of my leaves on yet. You will need to make sure that you glue your chameleon. See, I'm going to add another branch up here where it's going off the page. I like adding the yellow in there. Now, think about where you want your eye to be for your chameleon. Here would be his mouth, so I would put his eye kind of back in here. We have an oval. Another oval. You can do a little smile on your little chameleon. If you want him to have any little, I think the texture of the colored paper is good. You can also bring some black in here. Then I would come in, add my leaves. This is your artwork. So if there is something else that you want to put in your picture, you can. And share your paper that you've got. Okay, I'm about to show you what it looks like. You want to be very careful. Once you've added that oil pastel, it could get smeary. Okay, you could have it on your hands. That's why I like rubbing over and turn it over and have it on the back. I put the leaves on. Okay, kind of peel it off very carefully. Voila. Something else that I went in and did, artist, I added some white to his eye, and I put that little reflection in there. There you go.